It is April the 2nd, 2020. In this video, we're going to take a look at these two potential futures in the long-term charts. First, we'll start off with how I drew that chart, and then we'll go into our weekly and our daily indicators to see what the comparisons are. So I started off going into a log view, and for a long time, I had been looking at this daily trend line up as where our support was going to be and that we were going to be going to the moon from there. But prices, of course, have broken down from there. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking this chart tool where I can grab this piece of time over to this piece of time, and I can take that over and put it onto the chart roughly where we are now. And say, okay, if that happens, then we should look at the indicators from this period of time to see what are they saying and what are they saying now, and is that more similar or not. The second thing is that we've made this dip down and we're just below that trend line, so maybe we have just dipped down something like that from this period of time. Oh, I don't know, we'll go up to this period of time and we'll change the color of this to green, drag it over there, and put it roughly in place with our recent dip down. And then I can drag the chart over a bit, resize it, and you can see where our prices leave us up at the $300,000 range and higher from there if we scoop up over the next few months. So let's zoom in on this. Very drastic differences from where we stand now from those two potential futures. And so our indicator set right now should be playing out something really different for us as this plays out, and we should be able to use those two periods of time from the past on the weekly and daily time frames now all the way through here. That is going to give us that inside view of what is to come next. So let's compare our weekly relative strength index against those two potential moments in the past. We can see that we've come down, we've bounced up just up to the 44-ish level. So if we drag this chart back now to those periods of time, we are looking at these two potentials right here. This one, where the RSI bounced and came up, but it came down much deeper, and so did prices. So if our weekly RSI is breaking these levels and coming down as we're making top formations in the current prices, this is what we're going to be watching for as sell signals. That's our opportunity to make money on the way down, not to panic about Bitcoin going down. It's an opportunity if we're prepared for it. Should it hold from where it is over the next while and start to build from off of these levels, no doubting it, as we start to build up from these levels, this is important. We'll see the volume and everything else chipping in with this as well. And now in the weekly view of the on-balance volume, I've been talking quite a bit about this decline in volume over time. But let's go back now to that time and see what the charts are telling us. Right at these moments, how the volume was. So it was just dumping all the way through here. As we made this bounce and this bounce, we came to a little bit of buying, but it was pretty serious dumping all the way along here. So we had dumping and deeper dumping going on in the past. Whereas this area, if we are bouncing here like we hope, then we do see that it's going to positive volume. Even though like through this period of time, that was a lot of negative volume all the way along, just turning to positive here. So if we are going down, we should see this volume negatively increasing. But if we're seeing the positive volume, then that should be good for us. And on this comparison, for me, this period of time is a lot more selling, and we have come up to a more strong buying stance right now through this period of time. So this chart gives more credence to the second scenario than to the first one. As we go into the weekly MACD to take a comparison, this has crossed over, and I don't recall seeing where that was in the other charts. So we're on pretty much parallel arms downward here on the weekly in this channel. Let's go back to the past now and see what happened there. We were just crossing on our exponential moving average on this bounce, and we were headed further down. We had the parallel arms down, we made across, the histogram went negative, and we went wider straight down. Whereas this is quite different. We're on a clear parallel trend upward as we're going through this. We had a massive divergence for a long time before this finally broke and went to the high side. So the MACD indicator certainly seems to be favoring the bearish view from the past right now. So long as these histograms stay or grow negative again, then that's more bearish. And we'll see that play out in the shorter time frames as that's confirming or not. So now as we review the Ichimoku Cloud, we can see that we are below the green cloud a good considerable distance. We're a long ways away from the red cloud over on the side where we need to go up and through one way or another in the weekly. So if we go back to the past, we can see that we were below the green cloud halfway along, a long ways away from the red. The blue and the red conversion line were close together and then it split apart further. So should that blue start to split apart further in the weekly, that would indicate that we are getting more of that downward pressure, and we do have a long ways to go sideways before we're going to get into that cloud. When we go into the weekly Bollinger Bands, this is what I'm calling the pillar bottom. There's only 3 different times that we went outside that mean deviation in all of history on this weekly, and it was down here. However, even though this was really close, and then we went down further yet. So until we get up through the weekly mean on this Bollinger Bands, we are decidedly bearish. So let's go back to the current price time now, and we see that we are definitely below that weekly mean. So until we go sideways a long time and get back up above this weekly mean in the Bollinger Bands, we're bearish all the way along here. And so in conclusion, I am bearish overall, and I'd certainly be looking to practice short trades underneath these levels for the next while. And even though we may get some hard hits downward, for the most part, sideways is going to be the action. So practicing up on Bollinger Band mean reversions is going to be a good way to be able to make money out of these price moves. Don't worry about if it's going up or down. Worry about if you are trading the right direction in the market. And we'll zoom in on the next episode to really look closely at what's going on the price levels on a short time frame. Thanks for tuning in to this longer term look on Bitcoin prices. Good luck in all of your trading. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.